Prehistoric Canals. Car Dyke by Robert John Langdon. The book summary. Unveiling the Truth, the Real History of Britain's Dykes. For over a century, conventional archaeology has promoted the idea that Britain's great dykes, such as Offa's Dyke and Wansdyke, were built by the Saxons as defensive barriers. These theories, based on limited fieldwalking evidence and subjective interpretation, have gone largely unchallenged. But what if this widely accepted narrative is completely wrong? Car Dyke, the key to a forgotten past. Car Dyke has long stood apart, defying the traditional explanations of Saxon territorial defence. When a boat laden with goods was discovered at the bottom of Car Dyke, dating back hundreds of years before the Saxons arrived in Britain, it should have rewritten history. Yet, mainstream archaeology dismissed this evidence, continuing to support outdated theories. Revolutionary new findings with LiDAR technology. Using cutting-edge LiDAR mapping, our research has uncovered undeniable proof that Car Dyke and similar dykes are not Saxon or even Roman constructions. Instead, they are intricately linked to ancient paleo-channels, suggesting an advanced transportation and water management system that predates recorded history. Our new maps have corrected the estimated length of Car Dyke from 85 miles to 103 miles, aligning with the theories proposed by William Stukeley nearly 300 years ago. His claim that the dykes supported the Roman occupation of Lincolnshire by facilitating troop and resource movements has now been scientifically validated. Redefining Britain's longest dyke. This research now positions Car Dyke as Britain's longest dyke, surpassing Offa's Dyke, previously believed to be 177 miles long. Our survey reveals that Offa's Dyke is, in fact, a series of smaller dykes, totaling just 59.2 miles. Like Car Dyke, these ancient waterways were repurposed by the Romans for transportation and resource extraction, fundamentally shifting our understanding of Britain's infrastructure. A groundbreaking discovery: the Mesolithic and Neolithic origins of the dykes. Our mathematical analysis reveals that Car Dyke, Offa's Dyke, and Wansdyke predate both the Romans and Saxons, tracing their origins back to the Mesolithic and Neolithic periods. This breakthrough challenges the established archaeological timeline and presents a compelling case for an advanced prehistoric civilization. Could these ancient canals have been used to transport the massive stones of Britain's megalithic structures? Our findings suggest they very well could have. Rewriting the history of Britain's past. This book uncovers the real purpose and origins of Britain's enigmatic dykes, using cutting-edge technology and rigorous analysis to challenge centuries of academic assumption. If you're ready to explore the truth behind Britain's forgotten past, this is the book that will change everything you thought you knew about history. The book preamble. Over the last 2 years, we have conducted surveys on 3 major ancient dykes: Offa's Dyke, Wansdyke, and the Roman feature known as the vallum at Hadrian's Wall. While the vallum is widely accepted as Roman, its role as a transportation route for materials remains debated. Current academic consensus views it as a southern defensive ditch, but our findings suggest a much more dynamic purpose. These breakthroughs are made possible using LiDAR technology, allowing us to uncover hidden structures precisely. Unlike traditional methods like field walking, satellite imagery, and even ground-penetrating radar, LiDAR offers a detailed view of the landscape features buried beneath the surface. Despite its proven effectiveness, it's been surprisingly underused by academics, who often rely on outdated techniques that prove limited insights into the complexity of these monumental earthworks. For Car Dyke, we have employed LiDAR once again to reveal new details that challenges widely held interpretations of this simple Roman canal and drainage channel. Our research suggests a much more complex, multi-phase construction history, indicating that the dike was used for transportation purposes prior to the Romans. These findings challenge the long-held views of Car Dyke as a mere Roman engineering project and opens up new questions about its origins and use over time. Moreover, we aim to break away from the traditional archaeological practice of speculative dating and subjective guesses about the construction of these dikes. For the first time, we will apply scientific method of mathematics to determine an actual construction date for Car Dyke, moving away from the uncertainties that have long clouded its timeline. This approach promises to provide a more definitive understanding of when Car Dyke was built and how it evolved. This book presents a radical rethink of the Car Dyke and will doubtedly alter our historical understanding of Britain's ancient earthworks. The implications of our research extend far beyond Car Dyke itself, challenging the academic community to consider the proper function, origin and role of these dikes. The information provided here will revolutionize how we view these monumental structures, moving from speculation to scientifically grounded fact. Introduction. Car Dyke is one of the most enigmatic and intriguing remnants of Roman engineering in Britain. Stretching across the fens of East England, this ancient waterway has puzzled historians, archaeologists and enthusiasts for centuries. Theories about its purpose and origin are varied, and they are compelling, reflecting the complexities of interpreting ancient sites without definitive historical records. This introduction aims to present a comprehensive overview of Car Dyke, encompassing both past and present theories regarding its use and origin. Car Dyke, a brief description. According to current history books, Car Dyke is said to run approximately 85 miles, which is 137 kilometres, from Waterbeach in Cambridgeshire to the River Witham near Lincoln. However, our new analysis indicates that this information is not accurate. The dike is 103 miles long and is the largest in Britain, not the third largest as previously thought. Our research also shows that Offa's dike, which was previously considered to be more significant, has about 60% of it missing or is part of a watercourse. Car Dyke is believed to have been constructed during the Roman period, specifically around the 1st and 2nd centuries AD. It consists of a broad, shallow ditch with accompanying banks, typical features of Roman civil engineering. However, its exact function and route are still a matter of debate, which we will explore and draw conclusions at the end of the book. Early theories, navigational and defensive purposes. The earliest theories about Car Dyke proposes it's centered around its potential use as a navigational canal. Some scholars suggest that the Romans constructed it to facilitate the movement of goods and troops across the fenlands, which were notoriously difficult to traverse due to their marshy nature. This theory aligns with the Romans' known prowess in building canals and other hydraulic structures throughout their empire. Another prevalent early theory positioned that the dike served as a defensive purpose. Given the strategic importance of controlling the fenlands, it was speculated that the dike might have been part of a broader military defence network. The presence of Roman forts and settlements along the route tends to give some credence to this idea, suggesting that the dike could have been a boundary or a means of controlling movement throughout the region. Agricultural and drainage theories. As archaeological methods advanced with more extensive fieldwork conducted, new theories emerged focusing on the dike's potential role in agriculture and drainage. The fenlands had significant agricultural potential, but effectively the land would require sophisticated water management. Some researchers proposed that Car Dyke was part of an extensive drainage system designed to control water levels, reclaiming the land for farming and to prevent flooding. This theory is supported by the evidence of Roman field systems and regional settlements that would have benefited from the improved drainage. The dike's construction would have allowed for the diversion of excess water from the higher ground to the river systems, thus maintaining the delicate balance required for both agriculture and habitation in the fenlands. Modern interpretations: multifunctional infrastructure. In recent decades, interpretation of Car Dyke have become more nuanced, incorporating elements of early theories while also considering new evidence and methodologies. The current consensus amongst scholars is that the dike was likely to be a multifunctional place of infrastructure. One leading theory suggests that Car Dyke served both as a drainage channel and a navigational route, depending on the season and water levels. During times of high water, the dike could facilitate the movement of boats, while in drier periods it could aid draining of excess water from the surrounding land. This dual-purpose use reflects the Romans' adaptive engineering capabilities and ability to maximize their construction utility. Additionally, some modern researchers have explored the possibility that Car Dyke had significant social-political implications. It may have served as a marker of the Romans' presence and authority in the region, symbolizing the empire's ability to tame and control the natural landscape. This perspective considers the dike not just as a practical structure, but also as a statement of Roman power and technological prowess. Archaeological and environmental evidence. The interpretation of Car Dyke has been dramatically enriched by archaeological excavations and environmental studies. Detailed surveys and excavations along its routes have uncovered Roman pottery, tools, and other artifacts, suggesting that the dike was actively used and maintained over a considerable period. Pollen analysis and other environmental data have provided insights into the landscape during the Roman period, supporting the notion that the dike played a critical role in maintaining water levels and facilitating agriculture. Moreover, advancements in geophysical techniques have allowed researchers to map the dike's course more accurately, revealing its interconnections with other Roman sites and infrastructure. This comprehensive mapping has highlighted the dike's strategic importance and its integration into the broader network of Roman roads, canals, settlements within the region. Conclusion: a testament to Roman ingenuity. Car Dyke remains one of the most fascinating and least understood legacies of Roman Britain. While the definitive conclusions about its original purpose may remain elusive, The dike undoubtedly reflects the ingenuity and adaptability of Roman engineering. Whether as a navigational route, a drainage canal, a defensive boundary, or a symbol of imperial power, Car Dyke continues to capture the imagination of those who study it. As new technologies and methodologies emerge, future research will undoubtedly shed more light on this ancient structure. For now, Car Dyke stands as a testament to the complexity and sophistication of Roman infrastructure, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the past and reminding us of the enduring impact of the Roman civilization on the landscapes of Britain. In the following chapters, we will delve deeper into the various theories, explore the archaeological findings in great detail, and examine the broader historical and environmental context of Car Dyke. Through this exploration, we hope to gain more comprehensive understanding of this remarkable relic and the people who built it. Our methodology. Car Dyke has long intrigued historians and archaeologists alike, presenting an array of theories about its origin, purpose, and usage. As we embark on this unprecedented investigation using LiDAR technology, we stand on the brink of a transformative understanding of this ancient structure. This pioneering approach will map the entire length of Car Dyke for the first time in history, offering unparalleled insights into not only the dike's course, but also the surrounding landscape and environment. By integrating archaeological finds and employing advanced mathematical and AI tools, we aim to create a scientifically coherent solution to the mysteries of Car Dyke, providing a model that can be applied to similar structures throughout Britain. LiDAR, revolutionizing the mapping of Car Dyke. LiDAR, light detection and ranging technology, represents a breakthrough in archaeological research, offering a precise and detailed topological maps by using laser pulses to measure the distances to the Earth's surface. This method can penetrate vegetation cover and reveal hidden features, making it an ideal for examining Car Dyke, which stretches across diverse and very often challenging terrain. By deploying LiDAR, we can achieve a comprehensive and accurate mapping of Car Dyke's entire length. This high-resolution data will allow us to precisely delineate the course of the dike, understanding its exact path, and any deviations will shed light on its construction and purpose. Identify associated features. We can detect connected structures such as feeder channels, embankments, and nearby settlements, which may provide context for the dike's function. Analyze the surrounding landscape. The environmental context, including the river courses and land use patterns, will help us understand how Car Dyke interacted and was influenced by its surroundings. Integrating archaeological finds. Archaeological discoveries along Car Dyke have provided valuable insights into its use and the people who built it. Pottery sheds, tools, and other artifacts recovered from various sites suggest a timeline of occupation and activity. By integrating these finds into our investigation, we can achieve a more nuanced understanding of the dike's history. Chronological framework. Dating artifacts and associating them with specific periods of the dike's usage will help us establish a timeline. This will be critical in understanding how and when the dike was constructed, modified, and maintained. Cultural context. Artifacts provide clues about the people who lived and worked around the dike, Analysing these findings can reveal information about the inhabitants' economic activities, trade connections, and daily lives. Functional insights. Items such as tools and construction materials can indicate the methods and technologies used in building and maintaining the dike, offering direct evidence of its intended purpose. Leveraging mathematics and AI for scientific analysis. To make sense of the vast amounts of data generated by LiDAR mapping and archaeological investigations, we will employ advanced mathematical models and artificial intelligence techniques. These tools will enable us to systematically analyze and interpret the data, applying critical analysis and logic to develop scientifically robust conclusions. Data integration. AI algorithms will help integrate diverse data sources, including LiDAR scans, archaeological records, and environmental data, creating a comprehensive dataset for analysis. Pattern recognition. Machine learning techniques can identify patterns and anomalies within the data, revealing insights that might be missed by traditional analysis. This could uncover previously unknown aspects of the dike's construction and use. Predictive modeling. By applying mathematical models, we can simulate various scenarios and hypotheses about the dike's function. These models can test the feasibility of different theories, providing evidence-based conclusions. A coherent solution to the mysteries of Car Dyke. By combining LiDAR mapping, archaeological data, and advanced analytical tools, our investigation aims to create a coherent and scientifically grounded understanding of Car Dyke. This comprehensive approach will address critical questions about its origin, purpose, and usage, providing insights that were previously beyond reach. Origin and construction. We will establish a detailed timeline and construction narrative, identifying the techniques and resources used. Purpose and usage. By analysing the dike in the context of the surrounding landscape and environmental conditions, we can determine whether it served primarily as a drainage channel, navigation route, or a multifunctional infrastructure. Broader implications. Our findings will not only illuminate the history of Car Dyke, but also offer a model for understanding similar structures across Britain. By comparing our results with other dikes, we can develop broader theories about engineering and landscape management in the region. Conclusion. Towards a new understanding. But our innovative investigation promised to revolutionize our understanding of this ancient structure. By harnessing the power of LiDAR, integrating archaeological finds, and employing advanced mathematical AI tools, we will uncover the secrets of Car Dyke and provide a scientifically coherent explanation for its mysteries. This comprehensive approach will not only resolve long-standing questions about Car Dyke, but it will also contribute to our broader understandings of engineering and its legacy in Britain. Summary. We provided not only the maps, but also the finds data for the northern section, enabling us to estimate the likely period when the dike was first in use, based on the artifacts discovered. This marks the first application of mathematical theorems to date on an earthwork of this scale, as the monument's extensive 63-mile span gave us a substantial and detailed sample size. AI analysis concluded that the dike was constructed during the Mesolithic/Neolithic period, a finding that aligns with our other reports from LiDAR mapping of both Offa's Dyke and Wansdyke. This is further supported by the dike's shape and design, which features straight sections across the lowlands and wibbly-wobbly routes along the edges of the high ground. Such meandering pathways would have been necessary if the builders were seeking natural springs to supply water to the canal, especially given the elevation changes of over 4 meters occurred in some areas. This design would enable the canal to maintain a natural flow of water, eliminating the need to drag boats cross land with animals, which might explain the unusual detours observed in certain sections. Overall, and map references. The following section presents a meticulous examination of Car Dyke, segmented into 5-kilometre tiles, each represented on individual pages. Adjacent to each map are detailed observations and commentary that provide insights and interpretations based on our findings. Navigation of LiDAR maps. To explore the LiDAR maps in greater detail, zoom into the map or click the picture. This functionality lets you zoom or tilt the maps, providing more interactive and comprehensive view. The LiDAR software is set to maximum elevation and contrast, enhancing visibility and helps to identify small, hidden features beneath the surface. Map presentation and analysis. The maps within the chapter depict the path of Car Dyke in yellow. When you click on the map, an enhanced version without the yellow line will be displayed, allowing for a more detailed examination of the ditch. This feature is handy for analysing subtle changes and features in the landscape. Elevation profiles and water flow analysis. 3 profiles are provided to illustrate the significant variations in height and gradients of the dike. Notably, this dike shows no evidence of locks to regulate the water flow, raising questions about how the water was managed. Further investigations are required to determine whether the linked channels were used to stabilise the water flow at night, or if natural springs, as observed in other dikes, were the primary source of water. If natural springs were the main contributors to the route of Car Dyke, they would likely be irregular, as engineers would have sought out the underground water sources. Thus, wibbly-wobbly pattern would reflect the practical considerations of accessing and managing the water supplies in the landscape. Conclusions and next steps. Understanding Car Dyke's water management strategies is critical for interpreting its overall function and construction. This chapter lays the groundwork for further studies to uncover the precise mechanisms used by Roman engineers and the natural features they utilized. Through detailed LiDAR and mapping analysis, we continue to unravel the complexities of this ancient structure, contributing to a more comprehensive understanding of its historical significance. Northern section. Tile TF7 SW Car Dyke seems to cut through a Mesolithic to Bronze Age occupied area with a cemetery of round barrows now ploughed out. Tile TF07 SW. Investigations. Washingborough. This area, being close to the River Witham, has seen various archaeological excavations, some of which have revealed evidence of Roman occupation and infrastructure. In particular, near the Car Dyke, several excavations have discovered Roman pottery, building materials, and remnants of structures. These findings suggest that the Car Dyke was an integral part of the local Roman landscape, possibly used for transport and irrigation. Excavations have also revealed traces of later medieval activity in the vicinity. Hayhington. There have also been archaeological evaluations and digs in the Hayhington area revealing similar Roman era findings. While these excavations were not always directly connected to the Car Dyke itself, they often revealed Roman materials and features that demonstrate the widespread use of the landscape during this period. In particular, Roman roads, pottery, and other infrastructure have been uncovered, indicating significant Roman presence and activity. These excavations provide valuable insights into the role of the Car Dyke in the Roman period, especially its influence on local settlements and agriculture. Tile TF07SE and 06NE. The 2 points in this section that should be observed are the location tight to the higher ground and hence the non-straight path of the dike, and the very straight line of the dike across the lower ground levels. Investigations. Branston is located relatively close to Car Dyke, which runs parallel to the Witham Valley. While there has not been significant direct excavations of Car Dyke in Branston itself, archaeological finds in the region reflect a Roman presence. Excavations in surrounding areas have also yielded Roman pottery, building materials, and other artifacts indicating activity in the Roman period. This suggests that Branston was likely part of the Roman landscape that interacted with the Car Dyke, even if direct evidence of the waterways has not been explicitly uncovered. Butterhamworth, like Branston, lies near Car Dyke's course. Although there has been very few large-scale excavations directly on Car Dyke in this area, there have been general Roman archaeological finds nearby. These include coins, pottery, and remnants of Roman buildings, which suggest that Roman occupation influenced Butterhamworth and could have been connected to a broader network of Roman infrastructure, including the Car Dyke. However, direct excavations of the Car Dyke near Butterhamworth are rare or have not revealed significant specific findings tied directly to the canal. Taro TF06SE. The only Roman artifacts found in this section was Constantinian coin molds were found in 1811 while cleaning out the Car Dyke. Investigations. Nocton lies close to the course of the Car Dyke as it travels through the Witham Valley. Archaeology surveys and excavations in and around Nocton have revealed evidence of Roman activity, including agricultural landscapes that may have been influenced by the proximity of Car Dyke. Finds in the area have included Roman pottery, building materials, and other artifacts. One significant piece of evidence connecting Nocton to the Car Dyke is the discovery of a Roman field system and settlement remains, which suggests that the canal may have played a role in local agriculture and transportation. The Car Dyke likely helped in draining the surrounding landscapes and may have provided a transportation route for goods and material supporting the local Roman economy. Dunstan also lies near Car Dyke, and like Nocton, it has some archaeological activity and ties the area to the Roman period. The evidence includes Roman pottery, coins, and the remnants of field systems and possible settlement areas. These findings suggest that Dunstan too was part of the broader Roman landscape and was influenced by the presence of Car Dyke. Taro TF16SW. This section shows a curious alignment with the shoreline rather than a straight canal that Roman engineers would expect. It seems to link into the Paleo Channel, coming off the hill, as if it was once interconnected. Investigations. Lately lies east of Car Dyke's general course. What is those specific or significant excavations of the Car Dyke directly within Blaney? Archaeological investigations in the surrounding region have revealed Roman artifacts such as pottery and coins. Though not directly connected to the canal, these findings suggest a Roman influence and activity in the broader area. Given the Car Dyke's function as a transportation and drainage feature, it is plausible that the canal impacted on the local landscape, particularly in the context of the Roman era agricultural practices and settlement organisation. Martin, located near Blankley and a short distance from Car Dyke, shares a similar archaeological profile. Roman era artifacts including coins and pottery have been found in the general vicinity, though there have been no significant excavations directly focusing on the Car Dyke near Martin. The area, like others along the canal, were likely influenced by the Roman infrastructure, particularly in terms of land use and possibly transportation routes. Tau TF15NW. The path of the dike hugs the shoreline of the prehistoric landscape. This was not the shoreline of the Roman period, as roads go across the blue flat area in some places. Investigations. Timberland is located near Car Dyke route, and while there is no extensive direct excavations of the canal itself in Timberland, the general area has yielded evidence of Roman occupation. Roman pottery and other artifacts have been found in the region, indicating that Roman activities were present in Timberland when Car Dyke was in use. These findings suggest that Timberland, like other nearby settlements, was influenced by the Roman landscape, and Car Dyke likely played a role of shaping the agricultural and transportation systems of the area. The canal may have contributed to drainage and irrigation, which would have supported the local economy and settlement patterns during the Roman period. Walcott, a small village near Timberland, is similarly located close to Car Dyke. As with Timberland, there is evidence of Roman activity in the form of artifacts such as pottery and coins discovered in the area, though there is no substantial excavations directly focused on Car Dyke in this specific location. However, the proximity of Walcott to the canal suggests that it was part of a broader network of Roman infrastructure, and the settlement was supported by Car Dyke. Central section. Tile TF15SE and SW. Investigations. North Kyme lies near the path of the Car Dyke, which runs through the fenland landscape of Lincolnshire. While there haven't been significant or focused excavations directly on the Car Dyke in North Kyme, the area has produced some Roman-era findings such as pottery and remnants of Roman settlements. This suggests that the region was part of the broader Roman agricultural landscape, which the Car Dyke would have supported by providing drainage and possibly transport. The Car Dyke was primarily constructed to manage the waterlogged fenland and provide a route for moving goods. The inhabitants of North Kyme likely benefited from its proximity, even if direct archaeological evidence in the village itself is sparse. Anowick is similarly situated near the Car Dyke, and like North Kyme, there has been some evidence of the Roman presence in the area. Finds such as Roman coins, pottery, and building materials have been discovered, pointing to Roman occupation and usage of the land during the period when the Car Dyke was operational. Tile TF14NE and NW. Investigations. South Kyme is situated close to the Car Dyke, and there have been some archaeological investigations in the general area that indicate Roman activity. Roman pottery, coins, and other artifacts have been found in and around South Kyme, suggesting that the area was part of the broader Roman landscape influenced by the Car Dyke. The village itself has a history that extends back to the Roman period, and the proximity to the Car Dyke likely contributed to its development, particularly in terms of agriculture and possibly transportation. Hull is located near South Kyme and similarly close to the route of the Car Dyke. Like South Kyme, there has been some evidence of Roman occupation in the form of artifacts such as pottery and coins found in the area. These finds suggest that Hull too was influenced by the Roman infrastructure, including the Car Dyke. Tile TF14SC and SW. This is the first section in which Roman artifacts outnumber prehistoric post-Roman artifacts. Investigations. Heckington is located a few miles from the route of the Car Dyke, which passes through the fenland area. Archaeological findings in and around Heckington indicate the presence of Romans, including pottery, coins, and other artifacts. These discoveries suggest that the area was occupied during the Roman period, and that the local landscape was influenced by Roman infrastructure. Great Hale is similarly located near the Car Dyke, and, like Heckington, it has evidence of Roman occupation in the form of artifacts such as pottery and coins. These finds indicate that the area was part of the broader Roman landscape. However, there has not been significant direct archaeological investigation of the Car Dyke, specifically in Great Hale. The Car Dyke would have played a role in shaping the local environment, particularly in terms of drainage and agriculture, which were crucial for the sustainability of Roman settlements in the Fenland area. Even though direct evidence from the canal in Great Hale is not prominent, the village's proximity to the Car Dyke suggests that it was part of the wider Roman network of infrastructure.
Tile TF13 NE and NW.
The second section in a row has more Roman than pre-Roman artifacts. This is reflected in the straightness of the dike in the lowlands of the fens. The Car Dyke's influence in the region was likely significant, especially in terms of drainage and land management in the fenland areas. Although direct evidence of the canal in Sweden may be limited, the proximity of the village to the Car Dyke suggests that it could have benefited from the canal's drainage and transportation functions, indirectly influencing local agriculture and settlement patterns during the Roman period. Orbling is also situated near the course of the Car Dyke. Like Swayton, there is evidence of Roman activity in the area, with archaeological finds such as pottery and coins. These discoveries point to a Roman presence and suggest that the village was part of the broader landscape influenced by Roman infrastructure, including the Car Dyke.
Tau TF13 SW.
Investigation. Poynton, like Billingsborough, is near the course of the Car Dyke. The general area has yielded Roman artifacts, including pottery, which suggests that Poynton was part of the broader Roman landscape in Lincolnshire. These finds indicate that Roman infrastructure and settlement patterns influenced the area. However, as with Billingsborough, there is no substantial direct archaeological evidence that specifically ties the village to the Car Dyke.
Tau TF12 NW.
Investigations. Rippingell is situated near the path of the Car Dyke, but there has not been significant direct excavation or study of the canal, specifically within this village. However, the area has produced some Roman era finds such as pottery and coins, indicating Roman presence and activity during the period when the Car Dyke was in use. These findings suggest that Rippingell was part of the broader Roman landscape that the Car Dyke likely influenced, particularly in terms of drainage and possibly transportation. Dunsby is similarly located near the course of the Car Dyke. Like Rippingell, there is evidence of Roman occupation in the area, with discoveries of Roman artifacts such as pottery. These finds indicate that the area was inhabited and utilized during the Roman period, and the Car Dyke may have played a role in shaping the landscape.
Tau TF12 SW.
Investigations. The village of Dyke is located just north of Bourne and close to the Car Dyke. While direct archaeological evidence explicitly linking the town of Dyke to the Car Dyke is limited, the proximity of the village to this major Roman earthwork suggests an indirect connection. There have been some Roman dike finds in the area surrounding Dyke, including pottery and other minor artifacts. These discoveries indicate that the region was inhabited or used during the Roman period, and the Car Dyke, with its role in drainage and possibly transportation, would have influenced the development of the local landscape. The Car Dyke likely made the surrounding fenland more suitable for agriculture by managing water levels, which would have supported settlements like Dyke. Bourne has a more substantial archaeological record compared to Dyke, with significant evidence of Roman activity. Roman pottery, coins and building materials have been found in and around Bourne, indicating that it was an important settlement during the Roman period.
Tau TF11NW.
Investigations. Thirlby is located near the Car Dyke, and while there is some archaeological evidence indicating Roman activity in the area, direct evidence specifically connecting Thurby to the Car Dyke is somewhat limited. However, the proximity of Thurby to this major Roman earthwork suggests that the canal likely played a role in the local landscape during the Roman period. Baston, like Thurlby, is situated near the Car Dyke, and there is more substantial archaeological evidence of Roman activity in this area. Roman pottery, coins, and other artifacts have been discovered in and around Baston, suggesting that the village was actively used during the Roman period.
Tau TF11SW.
Investigations. Langtoft is located near the course of the Car Dyke. While there is some evidence of Roman activity in the area, direct archaeological evidence specifically linking Langtoft to the Car Dyke is limited. However, Roman artifacts such as pottery and coins in the broader region suggests that Langtoft was part of the Roman landscape. Market Deeping. Located a bit further from the Car Dyke compared to Langtoft, has a richer history, with evidence of Roman occupation in the surrounding area. Roman artifacts, including pottery, coins, and building materials, have been found in and around Market Deeping, indicating that the area was used during the Roman period.
Southern section.
We have examined the northern section of the Dyke, incorporating data from Lincolnshire archaeology, which indicates that the Dyke is likely Mesolithic/Neolithic in origin. This conclusion is supported by the significant number of artifacts found in the vicinity of Car Dyke, thousands of % more than what could be attributed to random chance. This finding aligns with our expectations, particularly given that similar LiDAR investigations we have conducted have produced the same conclusions, not from artifacts, but from the analysis of Dyke locations and their reliance on natural water sources to maintain the canals. In the upcoming analysis of the remaining sections of the Dyke, we will examine both the surrounding landscape and the structural design. Our goal is to address one of the long-standing myths that the Dyke served dual purposes, functioning as both a transportation hub for boats carrying men and materials between Cambridgeshire and Lincolnshire, and as a drainage system, redirecting excess water from the floodplain to create arable land for crops. To gather this data, we will explore not only the presumed course of existing dykes, but, even more intriguingly, we will investigate alternative routes that the LiDAR survey has uncovered. These hidden, dried-up paths are not straight like the modern-day dyke, suggesting they may be much older, likely from a prehistoric period. But this makes them strong candidates for use during Roman and earlier prehistoric times, giving us a richer understanding of how these routes evolved and were utilized across different eras.
Tile TF10NW and NE.
The profile of Car Dyke shows that it is not flat, and there is in some places a 4-meter differential. The highest point is by a quarry site, so is there a spring that allows boats to pass, or was there a towing system to drag the boats/barges past this point? Investigations. Northborough is located relatively close to the course of the Car Dyke. However, direct archaeological evidence specifically connecting Northborough to the Car Dyke is somewhat limited. There have been Roman archaeological finds in the surrounding area, including pottery and other minor artifacts, which suggest that the region was occupied or utilized during the Roman period. These artifacts indicate a Roman presence, but they do not necessarily provide direct evidence of the Car Dyke's influence in Northumbria. Peakirk is located closer to the Car Dyke, and there is more substantial archaeological evidence of Roman activity in this area. Roman artifacts, including pottery, coins, and other materials, have been discovered in and around Peakirk, suggesting that the village was actively used during the Roman period.
Tau TF10SC and 20SW.
The map shows that the dike is attracted by the clay quarries of eastern Peterborough, or that the natural springs were only available on the edges of the higher ground, and hence the diversion rather than a direct path. The dike is halfway down from the top of the hillock. If it was for drainage, it would need to be further in the bottom blue area to be most effective. Investigations. Gunthorpe is a small area located near the course of the Car Dyke, but there is minimal archaeological evidence specifically connecting Gunthorpe to the Car Dyke. The region around Gunthorpe has yielded some Roman era artifacts, such as pottery and coins, indicating Roman presence or activity in the broader area. However, there has been no significant archaeological excavation or study directly linking the village of Gunthorpe to the Car Dyke. Is located close to the Car Dyke and has a more prosperous archaeological record compared to Gunthorpe's. There have been discoveries of Roman artifacts, such as pottery and building materials, in the Eye area. These finds suggest that the Eye was actively used during the Roman period, and that there was significant Roman activity in the region.
Tau TL29NW and NE.
Much of the northern section of the Car Dyke has unfortunately been lost due to modern road construction, which has integrated portions of the dike into its layout until it reaches the River Neva. Despite these disruptions, valuable insights are still to be gained from what remains of this ancient infrastructure. One interesting observation is that after several straight sections to the north, the dike returns to a more irregular wibbly-wobbly course. This suggests that the Romans may have repurposed and connected existing prehistoric canals, adapting them to serve their purposes. These prehistoric dikes were likely constructed to transport raw materials such as clay, which is abundant in the surrounding area. In contrast, the Romans would have had a different objective, connecting key military garrisons, such as those in Cambridge and Lincoln, facilitating the movement of troops, goods, and other supplies between these locations. Investigations. Standground is situated near the route of the Car Dyke, but there is limited direct archaeological evidence explicitly linking the town to the canal. The broader area around Standground has seen Roman-era finds, including pottery and coins, indicating Roman activity in the region. However, detailed excavations that focus on the Car Dyke in Standground itself are sparse. Whittlesea is closer to the fenland landscape and the Car Dyke, and there is more substantial archaeological evidence of Roman activity in the area. Numerous Roman artifacts, such as pottery, coins, and building materials, have been discovered in and around Whittlesea, suggesting that the town was actively occupied or used during the Roman period.
Tile 29 NW and NE and SE.
These newly discovered routes show that there were dikes before the construction of later, much straighter sections of Car Dyke. This indicates that these are pre-Roman in construction and use, confirmed by the artifact findings in the northern section. The older dikes seem to keep to the higher banks better than the later, deeper, straight earthworks dikes. This shows the original structure prior to enlargement at a later time, producing the classic deeper bank and ditch structure.
Tile 39 NW 39 SW 39 SE.
The fact that not just one, but several dikes are interconnected suggests that this area was once a bustling and significant hub, not only for the Romans, but also for the prehistoric civilizations that preceded them. These transport hubs were vital for moving goods and minerals to processing areas, indicating a much earlier use of the water walls than previously assumed. Unlike other dikes we've studied, such as Offa's Dyke and Wansdyke, the Car Dyke and its related waterways lack nearby quarry sites, likely due to their location in swampy or boggy terrain. However, what's unique about this area is that LiDAR has revealed raised sandy banks, showing that our ancestors took full advantage of the dry ground to build canals, instead of traditional trackways. This discovery strongly supports the idea that boat transportation was a key feature of prehistoric societies in the region. It even opens up the possibility that these people lived on their boats while trading, much like the boat-dwelling communities we see today in some flooded areas of the Far East. This could be a massive shift in our understanding of history, transforming the image of prehistoric people from hunter-gatherers to sophisticated boat people of prehistory. Investigations? Benwick is a small village in the Fenland area of Cambridgeshire, not directly on the Car Dyke. While the region shows signs of Roman activity, particularly in water management, there is no significant direct archaeological evidence linking Benwick to the Car Dyke itself. Roman influence in the area is evident through broader discoveries such as pottery. However, these findings indicate general Roman presence in the Fenlands rather than a specific connection to the canal. The Car Dyke likely played a crucial role in controlling water levels in the surrounding Fenland, making the area more suitable for settlement and agriculture, even if no direct evidence ties the village to the canal.
Tile TL 3A NE 3A SE 4A NW 4A SW.
In this earlier section of the Car Dyke, the bank is notably high, raising doubts about the theory that the dike was primarily used for drainage. The height of the bank suggests that instead of draining water away, the dike could have been designed more for water supply purposes, particularly in the newer, straighter sections. These areas likely lack sufficient natural water sources, such as springs, which were more common along the earlier wibbly-wobbly prehistoric sections of the dike. This observation challenges the traditional view of the dike as merely a drainage system. It opens up the possibility that its primary function, at least in some areas, was to collect and distribute water. This would have been crucial for maintaining the flow and supply of water in regions with limited natural sources. Investigations? Chatteris is a town in the Cambridgeshire Fens, not directly along the known route of the Car Dyke, but close enough to have been influenced by Roman infrastructure in the region potentially. The Car Dyke, a prominent Roman canal thought to have been constructed primarily for drainage and transportation purposes, does not pass through Chatteris. However, the broader fenland landscape surrounding Chatteris has a history of Roman occupation and land management. While there is no direct archaeological evidence linking Chatteris to the Car Dyke itself, Roman artifacts have been discovered in the Chatteris area, including pottery, coins, and other materials. These finds suggest that Chatteris was part of the Roman landscape, likely benefiting from the drainage systems and water management that the Romans employed in them. Although the Car Dyke's primary course does not extend to Chatteris, the Romans' extensive efforts to manage water levels in the fenlands through canals and drainage channels would have indirectly impacted Chatteris.
Tile NL37NE47NW.
The Old Bedford River is an artificial, partial diversion of the waters of the River Great Ouse in the fens of Cambridgeshire, England. It was named after the 4th Earl of Bedford, who contracted with the local Commission of Sewers to drain the great level of the fens beginning in 1630. The straight section that runs from bottom left to top right has consistently been recognised. But what we didn't know until now is that the Car Dyke zigzagged down this same pathway in prehistoric times. With our new LiDAR maps, we're getting a clearer picture of how this area developed, particularly with the design and construction of canals. What's fascinating is how our ancestors sought natural springs to boost water flow, which explains the zigzag or wibbly-wobbly design. The profile shows that this stretch initially had a slight 7,555 metre downhill gradient of about 1 metre. But that natural slope is now interrupted by the construction of the Old Bedford River. These new insights highlight the ingenuity of our ancestors and how they adapted to the landscape in such clever ways. Investigations. Erith is a village located in Cambridgeshire, near the Fenland region, where the Car Dyke played a significant role in water management. While Erith is not directly on the known route of the Car Dyke, it lies close to areas heavily influenced by Roman infrastructure. There is no significant direct archaeological evidence specifically connecting Erith to the Car Dyke itself. However, Roman activity in the broader region, particularly in fenland drainage and water management, suggests that the village may have been indirectly affected by the Car Dyke and other Roman engineering projects. Roman era artifacts, such as pottery and coins, have been found in the general region, including near Ith, which indicates the Roman presence in the area.
Tile NL37SE47SW.
This section suggests that the Car Dyke likely followed the course of the Ouse River. Even though the landscape has changed, traces of the river's original winding path are still visible. To the south, there's also evidence of an intriguing, almost hidden dike that once cut across the raised lands. This cross dike was strategically used to provide access to 3 large quarries. The use of dikes here is similar to what we've observed in other regions, such as Offa's Dyke, Wansdyke, and the Vallam at Hadrian's Wall, where we've conducted similar LiDAR investigations to uncover these ancient landscape features. Investigations. Willingham is located in Cambridgeshire, relatively close to the fenland areas influenced by Roman engineering projects such as the Car Dyke. However, no significant direct archaeological evidence connects the town of Willingham specifically to the Car Dyke. The Car Dyke runs through other parts of the fenland region, but it does not pass directly through or near Willingham. Despite the absence of direct evidence, Roman presence in the general area is well documented. Roman era artifacts, such as pottery, coins and building materials, have been discovered in the broader region around Willingham, indicating Roman activity in the landscape. The Car Dyke, while not directly linked to Willingham, would have been part of the more comprehensive Roman network of infrastructure designed to manage the fenland environment. The canal's primary purpose was likely to control drainage and water flow. making the fenland more suitable for agriculture, which may have indirectly benefited settlements like Willingham.
Tile TL 47 SE 46 NE 46 SE.
This section appears to be a Roman extension due to its straight alignment cutting across higher ground, rather than following the natural contours as seen in the northern section. Quarries still surround the dike, which makes sense, given its role as a convenient transport network. However, the difference here is that these quarries aren't connected to paleochannels, suggesting they are likely of Roman origin. Investigations. Waterbeach, located in Cambridgeshire, lies relatively close to the known route of the Car Dyke. While there is no substantial direct archaeological evidence linking Waterbeach specifically to the Car Dyke, the town is situated within an area that was significantly influenced by Roman infrastructure, particularly in terms of water management and land use in the fenlands. The Car Dyke, constructed by the Romans, was primarily used for drainage and possibly transportation purposes, and it played a vital role in transforming the fenland landscape. Although Waterbeach does not have direct excavation findings that connect it specifically to the Car Dyke, Roman artifacts have been discovered in the surrounding area, including pottery, coins, and remnants of Roman agricultural activity. Dating of the dike. We can calculate the date of the dike using mathematics, as we have a complete database of finds from the northern section of the Car Dyke, supplied by Lincolnshire Council. This allows us to examine the number of artifacts found and the probability that they were in use during this period. This probability is calculated by understanding the frequency of finds on average over the entire county. Consequently, this is the collective number of artifacts found in Lincolnshire. To calculate the prior probabilities for each period based on the total number of finds in Lincoln, we first calculate the total number of finds across all periods. Summary of prior probabilities. Roman 0.3794, medieval 0.2487, post-medieval 0.1554, early medieval 0.0465, Iron Age area 0.0678, Neolithic 0.0578, Mesolithic 0.0175, Bronze 0.0271. Analysis and interpretation. Neolithic/Mesolithic. The higher frequency of finds in this period significantly increases its posterior probability to approximately 30.69%, which is quite substantial. Despite having fewer finds in this area, the Roman period still has a higher posterior probability due to its higher prior, but it is now only about 60.74%. Bronze Age. The probability for the Bronze Age period remains lower at approximately 8.55%. Conclusion. The calculated probabilities show a more balanced view, with the Roman period still favoured, but with a much stronger case for the Mesolithic/Neolithic period. This suggests that while Roman use of the dike is still likely, the Mesolithic/Neolithic period also holds significant importance, potentially indicating earlier use or occupation before the Romans. Langen mathematics. While Bayesian theory often yields definitive results, its accuracy can be compromised due to its dependence on subjective prior assumptions, which may only sometimes reflect reality. If these priors are not well chosen or are based on incomplete or biased information, the resulting analysis might be misleading. Therefore, relying solely on Bayesian methods without considering the variability and complexity of archaeological data could lead to conclusions that only partially capture the nuances of the actual distribution of artifacts. My method, which focuses on spatial analysis and empirical data, addresses these limitations. My approach to calculating finds would differ significantly. First, I would define the area where artifacts could be discovered. Using Lincolnshire as a reference due to its comprehensive archaeological data. By doing so, we can estimate the expected number of artifacts per square metre of Lincolnshire land, offering a more objective and spatially grounded method for understanding artifact distribution.
Summary of likelihoods in order of expectation. Roman 0.000156%. Medieval 0.000129%. Post-medieval 0.000081%. Early medieval 0.000024%. Iron Age 0.000021%. Neolithic 0.000011%. Mesolithic 0.000004%. Bronze Age 0.000003%.
These percentages represent the likelihood of finding an artifact from each period in a square metre of Lincolnshire. Given the extensive activity during that time, the highest is for the Roman period, just marginally ahead of the medieval period. We now need to look at the search area, 63 miles of the northern end of Car Dyke, as listed on the LiDAR maps in the previous section of the book. We must first calculate the total search area in square metres, count the findings within this area, and then compare it against the expected number.
Summary of expected finds. Roman 15.83 artifacts. Medieval 13.07 artifacts. Post-medieval 8.19 artifacts. Early medieval 2.44 artifacts. Iron Age 2.17 artifacts. Neolithic 1.07 artifacts. Unknown 0.59 artifacts. Modern 0.50 artifacts. Mesolithic 0.36 artifacts. Bronze Age 0.34 artifacts. Summary of items found. Mesolithic / Neolithic 61 finds. Bronze Age 47 finds. Roman 24 finds.
Interpreting the results. Mesolithic / Neolithic, a massive 5,589.72% increase and an odds ratio of 57.01 suggest significant activity during this period, far beyond what was expected. Bronze Age, an even higher increase of 1, 3, 7, 2, 30.53% and an odds ratio of 130 8.24 indicate the area was very important during the Bronze Age. Roman, a modest 51.6% increase with an odds ratio of 1.52, suggests Roman activity, but not as dominant as the earlier periods. Conclusion. The very high percentage increases and odds ratios for the Mesolithic/Neolithic and Bronze Age periods strongly suggest that the Car Dyke area was occupied and actively used during these times, with significant archaeological activity that exceeds what would be expected based on general Lincolnshire data. While still represented, the Roman period is less prominent in this area compared to the earlier periods. This confirms other dike surveys such as Offa's and Wansdyke that also show design, wibbly-wobbly in construction, attributed to the builders seeking natural springs rather than a direct line of route to maintain water levels, which were achieved at a later date in history by locks, ditches, and the phases of construction. Equipped with the advanced tool of LiDAR, we are now able to investigate for the first time the true nature of the engineering techniques used in the construction of the Car Dyke. In the following pages, we present detailed profiles from each section of the dike, showcasing the varying widths, depths, and designs of the ditches from north to south. What becomes clear is that the Car Dyke was not built in a single phase. Instead, it is composed of multiple stages, each with different designs. To illustrate these stages, we have grouped the irregular, meandering sections of the dike separately from the straighter sections. The curving sections align with the ancient shorelines of the fens, suggesting that parts of the fens were once underwater, supporting my post-glacial hypothesis, which posits that this occurred during the early Mesolithic period. The LiDAR maps vividly show how the slow drainage of the fens over thousands of years created areas of dry land. Initially, the Car Dyke was likely a series of individual dikes rather than a unified structure. Only after the Romans arrived, once the landscape had dried sufficiently, were these separate sections connected. Even then, it wasn't until the later Roman or early medieval period that the straighter dikes were constructed, cutting across the entire fenland region. Summary. The 21 measurements show no sign of consistency that would be attributed to a single period or method of construction. Indeed, the random widths suggest that these were a series of dikes connected over various periods. In B. Note that TL39NWSWSE is the old river that was used as Car Dyke, now replaced by a new canal/dike. Phases. We will now examine the three distinct sections of the Car Dyke and attempt to differentiate the various phases of its construction. By analysing the route, we aim to identify where the dike follows the original Mesolithic path, which hugged the coastline on dry ground, and where sections were added later by the Romans and in the medieval period. These later additions were likely made when the wet fenland had partially dried, making the land accessible and allowing new ditches to be dug. The exact dates are complex, but we currently look at pre-Roman and post-Roman as the most accurate judgment calls. Overall, mathematics suggests Mesolithic/Neolithic with some Bronze Age. Conclusion. When we examine the dikes of Britain, Car Dyke stands out as an extraordinary case. For over a century, archaeologists have promoted the theory that these linear earthworks, such as Offa's Dyke and Wansdyke, were built by the Saxons as territorial boundaries to defend against the Welsh and other Saxon tribes. This idea has been supported by numerous peer-reviewed academic works based on limited evidence from fieldwalking and subjective archaeological interpretation. However, Car Dyke has constantly challenged this narrative and consequently been overlooked by archaeologists as a one-off rather than the norm. The discovery of a boat laden with goods some years ago at the bottom of Car Dyke, dating back hundreds of years before the Saxons arrived in Britain, should have dispelled the myth of a Saxon origin for dykes. This finding shows that Car Dyke was constructed long before the Saxon migrations. Despite such evidence, these outdated theories have persisted, with scholars clinging to the idea of Saxon territorial dykes. Even more troubling is that modern archaeologists continue to ignore this contradictory evidence. Utilizing LiDAR technology, we've demonstrated that dykes like Car Dyke are interconnected with ancient paleochannels, proving that they predate the Saxon and medieval periods. These channels, long dried by the time of the Saxons, suggest that the dykes were part of a more extensive system for transportation and water management, rather than simple war barriers. Our new maps of the Car Dyke, supported by LiDAR technology, provide conclusive evidence of the actual path of the dyke. This research has refined the original estimate of its length from 85 miles to a more accurate 103 miles, confirming earlier theories proposed by William Stukely nearly 300 years ago. Stukely suggested that the dyke supported the Roman occupation of Lincolnshire by creating a vital supply line for troops and resources from the east coast of Britain before the construction of major roads. These findings give further credence to his hypothesis. This new analysis makes Car Dyke the longest dyke in Britain, surpassing Offa's dyke, traditionally reported as 177 miles. Our recent LiDAR survey and book have revealed that Offa's dyke is actually a much smaller series of dykes, measuring 59.2 miles. Similar to Car Dyke, these dykes were interlinked by the Romans, who utilized the canals for mineral extraction and transportation. These findings drastically alter the understanding of Offa's dyke and reaffirm the significance of Car Dyke as a key element in Roman infrastructure. Moreover, our mathematical analysis of the findings surrounding Car Dyke has revealed that it predates the Roman period, confirming that it, like Offa's dyke and Wansdyke, is of Mesolithic/Neolithic origin. This breakthrough supports our hypothesis that these dykes were part of a much earlier infrastructure, fundamentally altering the timeline of archaeological history. These findings also open new perspectives because of the new timeline for the megalithic builders, suggesting they may have used these canals to transport the giant stones to their sites by boat in ancient time.
Biography and links. Robert John Langdon. Robert John Langdon, a polymathic luminary, emerges as a writer, historian, and discerning social philosopher. His intellectual voyage has interwoven with stints as an astute scrutineer for governmental realms and grand corporate bastions, a tapestry spanning British telecommunications, cable and wireless, British gas, and the esteemed University of London. A decade hence, Robert's transition into retirement unfurled a chapter of insatiable curiosity. This phase saw him immerse himself in politics, archaeology, philosophy, and the enigmatic realm of quantum mechanics. His academic odyssey traversed the venerable corridors of knowledge hubs such as the Museum of London, University College London, Birkbeck College, the City Literature Institute, and Chichester University. In the symphony of his life, Robert is a custodian of 3 progeny and a pair of cherished grandchildren. His sanctuary lies ensconced in the embrace of West Wales, where he inhabits an isolated cottage, its windows framing a vista of the boundless sea, a retreat from the scrutinous gaze of Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, an amiable clandestinity in the lap of nature's embrace.